Hey friends! Ready to dive down the rabbit hole for a wildly absurd, utterly extravagant, and completely illogical fantasy adventure? Today, we're breaking down a cult classic in fantasy cinema, Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland. If you're into the Mad Hatter's Tea Party, the grinning Cheshire Cat, and that queen who's always screaming OFF with their heads, buckle up, cause here we go, major spoilers ahead. But trust me, even if you know what happens, the visual spectacle and insane details will still blow your mind. Chapter 1. Reality is boring. Until a rabbit shows up. We begin in 19th century England. This Alice Kingsley isn't the little girl we remember. She's all grown up, wearing a tight corset dress, stuck at a fancy but painfully dull banquet. Everyone's talking about marriage, status, and the life she's supposed to live. Especially that smug nobleman Hamish, who's about to publicly propose to her.
Alice Kingsley. Will you be my wife?
But then, she spots a white rabbit in a blue waistcoat, clutching a pocket watch. I'm late, I'm late, I'm late. Without a second thought, Alice chases after it. She follows him down the rabbit hole and begins what feels like a never-ending fall. She plummets past floating maps, airborne chairs, even through a layer of talking mist, until thought she lands somewhere dark and soft. Chapter 2. Drink me. Eat me. Why am I shrinking? Growing. Alice finds herself in a hall full of doors. She spots one tiny door that leads to the garden from her dreams, but she's way too big to fit. Then she notices a bottle labeled Drink Me. She chugs it and shrinks down to insect size. But after munching on a cake that says Eat Me, she suddenly shoots up. Smashing her head through the ceiling, and her tears nearly flood the room. Welcome to Wonderland, where the only rule is, there are no rules. Just then, the hookah-smoking blue caterpillar, Asylum, makes his entrance. He slowly asks, Who are you? And Alice can't even answer. I'm not sure anymore. I've changed so many times.
Who are you?
Alice.
We shall see.
What do you mean by that? I ought to know who I am?
Yes, you ought, stupid girl.
Chapter 3. A grinning cat, a forever mad tea party. On her confused journey, she meets the Cheshire Cat, a feline that can vanish at will, often leaving only its mischievous grinning face behind. It's sometimes helpful, sometimes chaotic, speaking in riddles. Everyone here is mad. You, me, even that path over there.
You'd best be on your way.
What way? All I want to do is wake up from the stream.
Fine. I'll take you to the Hare and the Hatter. But that's the end of it.
Under its guidance, or let's be real, under its mischief, Alice stumbles into the Mad Hatter's tea party. It's the most chaotic afternoon tea ever.
All together now!
Up above the world you fly, like a tea tray in the sky. Twinkle, 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 twinkle.
The Mad Hatter, the March Hare, and the Dormouse sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Bat, throw teacups around, and even piss off Tom himself, who, yes, is a grumpy old man in this universe. The Mad Hatter recognizes Alice instantly, even though she insists this is all just a dream, but his eyes hold a mix of sadness and excitement, like he's been waiting for this moment forever.
It's you.
No, it's not! McTwist brought us the wrong Alice!
It's the wrong Alice! It's absolutely Alice. You're absolutely Alice. I'd know you anywhere. I'd know him anywhere.
Chapter 4. Off with their heads. The Red Queen's reign of terror. Soon, card soldiers storm in to arrest Alice. Turns out, Wonderland is under the rule of the tyrannical Red Queen. She's got a giant head, a short temper, and at the slightest annoyance, she screams, off with their heads.
Off with the head!
Her henchman, Stain, Knave of Hearts, is a slimy kiss-up who will do anything to stay in her favor. Alice is dragged to the castle, only to meet the Red Queen's sister, the White Queen. She seems sweet and gentle, but there's something kinda fake and mysterious about her. She whispers to Alice, the prophecy says you will help us. There is a legend in Wonderland that Alice will slay the Jabberwocky on the Farabi's day and end the Red Queen's reign.
So I suggest you keep the Vorpal sword on hand when the Frabjous day arrives.
Chapter 5. I'm not a hero. I'm just a lost girl. Alice refuses. You've got the wrong person. This is just a dream. I'll wake up and forget all of this.
Wish I'd wake up.
Still believe this is a dream, do you?
Of course. This has all come from my own mind.
But when she witnesses the Red Queen abusing her subjects, bullying the Mad Hatter, and even threatening to burn his house, she starts to reconsider. Encouraged by the Hatter, Alice decides to sneak into the Red Queen's castle and steal the Vorpal sword. On this mission, she must evade soldiers, trick Stain, and even ride an invisible bulldog. And the most heartbreaking moment, when the Mad Hatter tells her softly, "Even if you forget us, we won't forget you." Chapter 6, Slaying the Jabberwocky. The girl finally lifts the sword. The climax is here. Alice finally faces the Jabberwocky, a giant, green fire-breathing, scaled monster.
I can slay the Jabberwocky.
She's no traditional hero with superpowers, but she's clever and brave. At the last second, she leaps onto its back, not fighting with brute force, but skillfully slicing off its head.
Off with your head!
The whole of Wonderland cheers. But the Red Queen is furious. Armies, seize her! Chapter 7, The White Queen's Secret. The final showdown. With the Red Queen's army advancing, the White Queen finally steps up to confront her sister. And that's when we learn the White Queen isn't totally innocent. When they were kids, she stole a tart and framed her sister, which partly caused the Red Queen's twisted personality. Everyone has a dark side even in Wonderland. Alice seizes the moment and lifts the Jabberwocky's head, intimidating the entire army. The Red Queen is defeated and exiled. The White Queen becomes the new ruler, but she promises, "I shall rule with desert, not fear." Chapter 8, The maddest ones are the sanest ones. It's all over. Alice stands once again in front of that little door, but this time, she doesn't say, "It was just a dream." She hugs the Mad Hatter, says goodbye to the Cheshire Cat, and tells everyone,
Be back again before you know it.
You won't remember me.
Of course I will. How could I forget?
"I remember." She returns to the real world and boldly rejects Hamish's proposal. Then she does something that stuns everyone. She carries on her father's dream of sailing and joins a trade ship to see the world. In the final shot, she stands at the helm smiling toward the horizon and a blue butterfly gently lands on her shoulder. Is that Aslan? So why do we love this movie? Because it's visually stunning. From the Hatter's smoky eyes to the Red Queen's heart-shaped head, from the Cheshire Cat's grin to the Jabberwocky's fire, every frame is a fantasy masterpiece. Because it's wonderfully weird. These characters are absurd yet unforgettable, like manifestations of the inner child in all of us who never wanted to grow up. Because it's empowering. This isn't just a girl kills monster story. It's about self-discovery, defying labels, and embracing your own madness as a journey of growth. If you love imaginative films, if you've ever felt out of place in the real world, if you believe only the mad ones can change the world, then this movie is a fairy tale written for you. Which character from Alice in Wonderland is your favorite? The Mad Hatter, the Cheshire Cat, or the explosively tempered Red Queen? Let me know in the comments. Follow me for more deep dives into the madness and romance behind great movies. See you next time.